Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another video. We're going to be talking about earnings before they happen. Today we're going to be talking about Autozone. Autozone is set to release their earnings Tuesday after the bell on September 24th, 2024. Let's just jump right into it. Make sure to stay until the end. It really helps out the channel. We're just going to be looking at our charts here with Trading View on our left and Thinkorswim on our right. Right now I immediately see we're in a downtrend channel here. We're not exactly oversold, but we've hit that resistance point where the reflection might trigger a reversal to the downside, especially going into earnings in a cautious period. On the right here we have Thinkorswim. We're currently in a sell or a short position from our scalper, in which we found a high at 3,256, and we're currently in a downtrend from that high. So we could be setting up a higher low here, or we had just made a lower high or a higher low here set up for the reversal, or a lower high here for the optimistic review with EPS hitting and it going back up to its high. Let's just zoom in so we know where it's going to go in the near-term future. Taking a look at our 45-minute candle, it's still 226. We're at a inflection point to where it should go up for the rest of the day, although before earnings we might see a sell-off going into tomorrow. It could reflect a downtrend at this point. So we'll see at the end of the video where we'll recap. Let's start with some news here. So Autozone is supposed to come in with an EPS with about $53.59. I've seen $53.53. I've seen $53.61, and most of the analysts, their price targets have remained unchanged. Last year's EPS was 46.46. That's about a 9% increase from the same quarter last year. Looking at our Global and Mail newsletter, we're going to see Autozone. They report Q4, not Q3 tomorrow. That's okay. So it says here, Autozone analysts are expecting Autozone's revenue to grow 9.3% year on year to $6.22 billion, improving from the 6.4% increase it recorded the same quarter last year. It recorded in the same quarter last year, excuse me. Adjusted earnings are expected to come in at $53.55 per share. That's another estimate. So we're bouncing between this $53.53 and $53.61. I think that's still a good sign if we're seeing a growth from the same quarter last year. Let's see what they say. The majority of analysts covering the company have reconfirmed their estimates over the last 30 days, suggesting that they anticipate the business to stay the course heading into earnings. Autozone has missed Wall Street's revenue estimates 3 times over the last 2 years. That's pretty good. With Autozone being the first among its peers to report earnings this season, we don't have anywhere else to look to get a hint on how this quarter will unravel for automotive and marine retail stocks. So really think about that, guys. This is going to be the catalyst for a lot of other stocks as well going into their earnings period this season. Now let's take a look at what Zacks has to say. We're going to watch this video and see what they have to say. So they're going to report Tuesday after the bell. The consensus is $53.61 per share, reflecting a 15.4% improvement relative to the same quarter last year. It has a long track record of exceeding estimates. has delivered trailing four-quarter average surprise of 5.75% on the surprise EPS. So you can look at it as a 5% increase or decrease. Earning estimates have slightly declined over the past 60 days. Autozone is trading at a near-time high amid enhanced sales force and reduced delivery times, which could be good coming off of this summer cycle. The company has generated record sales for 34 consecutive years, it says. So I think we can say that going into Autozone, we can be cautiously optimistic here. Investors should proceed with caution, heading into the announcement, of course. On whether or not to buy Autozone before earnings, it can be tricky, but here's a few points to consider. It has a strong EPS with a projected EPS of 53.69 from what it says here on the Copilot AI. So that's another estimate it gives. So bouncing around between 53.53 and 53.69 now on our EPS estimate. Stock performance, Autozone has been relatively flat over the past month, and we see that it found its high and it's currently in a downtrend. It's trading between these 220 and 50 EMAs, If I had to say, it could blow past this 2900 mark back to our low here at 2740, or we could make a new high. Long-term fundamentals for Autozone. It has steady revenue and profit growth driven by expanding store footprint and consistent demand for auto parts. It makes a solid long-term investment regardless of short-term earnings fluctuations. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt. The market sentiment overall for Autozone is cautiously optimistic. Analysts suggest that the stock is a good buy due to strong fundamentals and potentials for growth and auto parts in general. If you're considering a short-term investment, it might be worth waiting to see how earnings report impacts the stock price. That's obviously another grain of salt. You may do as you wish with your money. Obviously, this is not financial advice, but everything to help you succeed into the future. Let's just take a look at our charts again so we can reestablish what we had going on. We're currently in two sell positions. We have a median price target of about $3,000. The analyst's price target had Autozone at $3,229, where it made its high. And we can see our low here again is at 2740, and our high is at 3220. Right now, the stock is currently in an uptrend going into earnings. Although if we look at our 4-hour candle, we can see that we're bearish. Again, looking at on our right hand side, the thinkorswim, we're in a sell. We have a low here at 29.22 and a high of 31.02. Going into earnings, you should look to play between these levels. If this helped at all, please like, subscribe, and comment on what I can do better. I hope you all have a lovely day. Thank you.